No other bodybuilder was more notorious than Arnold Schwarzenegger for his crazy high volume, high frequency training recommendations. From his 6-day split, his double split training protocol, training in the morning, then coming back for another session in the evening, hitting body parts 3 times per week, all while training with volumes in one single session that most people don't even perform in an entire week of training. I think it's safe to say that 90% of people who have read Arnold's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, they've all enthusiastically jumped on his contest prep 6-day per week plan and failed miserably, all ending up beaten up and burnt out with just in a few weeks of training. But as I've mentioned over and over again on this channel, those crazy high volume workouts, those were sessions that Arnold generally performed just weeks leading up to a competition. And it was in fact not the training he performed to build muscle throughout his career. If you look deep enough, you'll find moderate 3, 4, or 5-day training plans that Arnold used throughout his career to build more muscle. But today, we're specifically gonna look at Arnold's 6-day split. We're also gonna tweak a few things and make it better. We're gonna make it more suitable for you, specifically for muscle growth. But first, what is the split? Now, depending where you look, you're gonna find a few different options, some more extreme than others. But the most common setup is in fact the old school antagonistic split. One workout training the chest and the back, another workout training the shoulders and the arms, and one more workout training the entire lower body. His most common training split was to train the chest and back on Monday and Thursday, the shoulders and arms on Tuesday and Friday, and the legs on Wednesday and Saturday, taking Sunday off to rest. Now, one thing to note about this training setup is it does allow for more specific training to the shoulders and arms, as they have their own day of training during the week. Training the chest and back together, as Arnold did, can pose some unique challenges if one of those muscle groups are underdeveloped for you. In that case, because you're training both of them in one single session, you might want to train chest first on one chest and back day, and then back first on another chest and back day. The idea here would just be to make sure that neither one of them gets neglected. However, if you do have one strong body part and you're just focused on maintaining it, and you want to focus more so on the other, train that weaker body part first in both sessions. But if that's not an issue and you want to train Arnold's split as is, here are a few options to make the training split more suitable for you. The goal here is to recover better from what he generally recommended, but also the setup should allow you to progress further long term. The first option is to completely do away with the 6-day split. Let's train on a rotating schedule. You'll train no more than 2 days in a row. Each day, you'll rotate through the workouts. This brings the body part frequency down from twice every week to once every 4 to 5 days, rather than the original 2 to 3. In my opinion, this offers no negative. The frequency is still plenty, but now we can insert rest days as needed. We'll keep the same order for the split, chest and back, then shoulders and arms, then legs. But instead of training 6 days in a row, we'll insert a rest day after every 2 days of training. We'll cycle through those workouts and it might look like this: chest and back, shoulders and arms, rest. Legs, chest and back, rest. Shoulders and arms, legs, rest. After that, the cycle would repeat again. These rest days will also bring your training frequency down from 6 days per week in the gym to roughly 5. It might not sound like much, but that extra rest day adds up. And in my opinion, this 6 days of training is one of the major reasons why people fail on this split. Now, if fatigue is still an issue with these changes, you can take it a step further. And now we can insert one more rest day. We can place a rest day before legs, and we can place a rest day after legs. The split would then no longer rotate. It would simply be chest and back, shoulders and arms, rest, legs, rest, and then repeat. Now, body parts will be trained exactly every 5 days per week rather than every 4 to 5 days. This setup works excellent for people who just need a bit more rest. The only major drawback to the schedule, however, is the rotating schedule. With some people's schedule, they just don't have the luxury of training any day of the week. They might need Sundays off, they might need a day midweek off. For them, it's best to stick with a 7-day weekly setup. In that case, the last setup that I personally use with many of my clients I work with directly, I set them up with a 5-day split, working on specific muscle groups to maximize their priorities. By default, you'll get 2 rest days per week. Personally, I like to have one midweek on Wednesday and another at the end of the week on Sunday. This allows you to spread those rest days out evenly. And now we have 5 days to train. We're gonna pick 2 workouts that we're gonna train twice per week. Usually these are the body parts that we need to focus on the most. And then we're gonna pick one body part to train once per week and maintain. Let's say you need lower body development and you need a bit of attention for the chest and the back. We can now train the shoulders and arms just once weekly at maintenance, and we're gonna focus all the other workouts on the chest and the back and the legs, training those twice per week. A very common split I might run is Monday, chest and back, Tuesday, legs, Wednesday off, Thursday, chest and back, Friday, legs, and Saturdays, we train shoulders and arms. This is essentially a very basic upper and lower split, which is traditionally run 4 days per week. But now we're training 5 sessions, giving an additional day specifically to the shoulders and the arms. From Arnold's split, it's a step back. But in my opinion, this is the best setup that allows you to take advantage of all the benefits that an antagonistic split has to offer, all while still focusing on recovery. If you're personally looking to run Arnold's split and you want a setup that allows for a bit more recovery, give one of these options a try and let me know how it works. And if you want the exact training methods that I personally recommend to build muscle using proven old school bodybuilding methods, all my old school mass gain programs are down below. And as always, if you want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.